car.
Now, you're watching News Channel 2 at sunrise with Gary Liberator.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Friday. I'm Gary Liberator.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
The word Friday puts a smile on your face, doesn't it?
Yes, happy Friday, and I get a weekend
Yes, finally,
off.
you get the whole weekend off.
Bill does too, of course. Huge thanks to Jill and Sam, who've been super helpful filling in for us over the past several weeks. And today, not as snowy as originally anticipated yesterday. The system is passing a little bit farther to the south. So our main story today is going to be cold temperatures. But it's not quite cold just yet. It starts to cool down as we approach the afternoon and the evening. Wind chills tonight possibly below zero. So definitely cold by at least tomorrow morning. Those current conditions out there right now, Griffiths and Rome reporting 20 degrees with cloudy skies, noticing a few flurries falling in the air in some spots, and that's reported out in Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, and of course down in Dansville. But a common temperature ranging in the upper teens, low 20s this morning. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're seeing some weak lake effect response taking place in parts of Oneida County right now. Again, as far as I've seen, it's only been a few light flurries in the air, maybe some spots of heavier light snow falling in the towns of Vienna and Lee. But again, for today, we're looking at overcast skies to start out for the day. But again, the light snow is possible in areas south, primarily south of central New York. And then we're talking about those colder temperatures as we approach the evening hours, and plus that very cold Saturday forecast coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. An investigation is underway this morning after you.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning, welcome back. Happy Friday. The weekend is approaching us, and it's going to be a cold one, especially on Saturday. But turning our attention to what's going on currently, a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're seeing a weak lake effect response, producing some light snow showers, especially in northwestern Oneida County, parts of Camden, Vienna, Route 69 heading into Rome, even a few flurries working their way all the way down to Utica as we head to the bottom right-hand corner. And a look at current conditions across the Mesonet camera network. Again, lots and lots of snow officially fell up in the north, at least up towards Redfield, Osceola, Tug Hill, near Watertown. 30, 40 inches, some cases a little bit more of snow falling up there. But as you can see, a huge drop as you head south with a relatively quiet conditions. Some snow showers picking up in Westmoreland right now. And on the Nexus camera, looking at downtown Utica, we're seeing a few flurries falling in the air right now, currently 21 degrees. This afternoon, the highs remain in the mid-20s, but those wind chills will start to plummet down into the single digits tonight, and then below zero by early tomorrow morning. Gary?
Bundle up this weekend,
Yes.
Eric. Decision 2024 now, political analyst.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and welcome back. Happy Friday. It is here, and a few snow showers taking place across some parts of the area, mainly just some light flurries. Let's take a live look outside from our camera on the Nexus Center. You can see just a few flurries falling at this point. And temperatures this morning, too, starting out in the teens and low 20s. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We've got weak lake effect snow response coming off of Lake Ontario. These snow showers are spotty. You can see a few pop-ups here and there, but again, the primary snow zone is currently over Sylvan Beach, parts of Camden, out in Lee, Route 13, of course, down Route 69, heading closer to Rome. But the broader picture here is we've got a low pressure system approaching from the west, shifting east, and notice it's very far south. The zone of heaviest snowfall is down almost to Washington, D.C., so we're going to see the very edge of this system as it clips parts of central New York, and the areas most likely to see some of that snow look to be in the southern valleys. Now, regarding wind chill, feels like temperatures. This is going to be the main story for the next few days. Again, today, wind chills starting out in the teens, low 20s. Tonight, 8 p.m., wind chills below zero, -3 Utica, -3 Little Falls, -11 up in Old Forge. By 4:30 tomorrow morning, -15 Old Forge, -10 Little Falls. You can see just how cold it gets with those wind chills factoring in. Then, by Saturday, 3 p.m., this is in the afternoon, wind chills -2, -3, still -12 in Old Forge in the middle of the afternoon. So it's going to be one of the coldest days we've seen so far, likely this year. And regarding Sunday, starting out cold, another cold night Saturday night and early Sunday morning, and then we start to warm up Sunday afternoon with wind chills finally rising above zero. Now, regarding snowfall, what can we be expecting for the next few days? Again, we're tracking a weak lake effect response in western and central Oneida County, with a few flurries lingering as far east as Utica. Then by this afternoon, that weak system passes through. You can see barely a few snow showers falling south of Route 20 and I-90. Then our best chance of seeing snow in some parts of the area look to be tomorrow, as lake effect snow starts to fall off of Lake Ontario. You can see it clipping most of Madison County, Otsego County, parts of Shenango County, and maybe a zone go as far north as the hills just south of Utica near New Hartford as well. And then a weak disturbance from the north could produce additional light flurries in some parts of the area, but that quickly passes, and the highest snowfall zones will primarily be south and east of Utica. So this is what we're expecting for today. We've dropped down the numbers a little bit too as the system continues to trend farther to the south. A dusting maximum here in parts of the Mohawk Valley and north would trace to 2 inches, 2 inches being the most unlikely scenario here in the southern valleys by this evening. And now, looking at the broader picture of just how light this snowfall is, you can see that going from gray to red to pink to yellow indicates how heavy the snowfall is falling, and you're seeing we're barely any grays and whites for today. Then by tomorrow, some light blues indicating some light to moderate snowfall, again, primarily out near Syracuse, but of course, as you head out to the east, snowfall rates will quickly fall. And so we're good for today. High 22, light snow south, wind chills quickly plummeting tonight. On paper, a low 1, wind chills below 0. And your 7-day forecast, another cold one for Saturday, breezy conditions, a high of 12, a low of 0. Again, wind chills below 0. And after this weekend, again, here comes the January thaw. We're up into the 30s and 40s by next week. So if you are planning on going and enjoying some of the fresh snow up in the Tug and going skiing, this will be the weekend to do it, because it might melt by next weekend.
They got a lot of snow, so maybe it won't, but we'll see.
Plenty of snow to spare.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:24. Still ahead on Sunrise.
You're watching News Channel 2 at sunrise with Gary Liberator.
Good morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberator.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And on that shot a little earlier, we did see some snowflakes down, where was that, Cooperstown?
In Utica. Some light snow is possible down in Cooperstown for today as well, but it has trended less snowy. In fact, I think I just, in the corner of my eye, I saw a few flurries.
Yeah, there they are.
There they are. Yeah, so for today, the main story is it's cold out there. Not quite cold this morning. Temperature 20, feels like 20. This is about as balmy as it's been in the past several days, but it's only going to get colder as winds pick up and those wind chills plummet, especially this afternoon, then tonight with wind chills possibly falling below 0, in some cases double digits below 0. Around the state, those temperatures are ranging in the teens and 20s, 18 Hamilton, 20 Rome, 12 in Saranac Lake. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. The snowflakes you saw behind Gary and I just a few moments ago caused from weak lake effect. As you can see here, some lake effect snow is falling in primarily parts of Rome, Vienna, out near Camden, north of Western, Route 46. And as you can see there, the snow showers are taking place primarily in Oneida County. And for today, highs in the low 20s, low to mid 20s, with some light snow showers possible south. Again, the system has trended more south, so we're talking less widespread snow for today. We've got more snow chances, though, on the way for this weekend. And again, those bitterly cold temperatures forecast for tomorrow. I'll talk about more of that in detail coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Congress has passed a fund.
Good morning and welcome back. Of course, it's Friday. It's time to showcase our weather photo of the day. And so far this week, we've showcased a snow gator. We've showcased a bunch of really cool weather photos, a nice sunrise. And I feel like we could wrap up this week by showing another beautiful animal, one of my favorite birds, a cardinal. And this is a beautiful shot here taken in Ilion. And of course, both female and male cardinals are just absolutely beautiful birds. I love seeing them in the wintertime because their bright reds stick out in the snowy trees. And one thing I do have to invest in very quickly is to get a bird feeder, because I used to have one several years ago with my family, and it was great to go out and see the birds feed, at least in the wintertime with the lack of food. A live look at current temperatures in the 20s and teens across the area. And for today, highs will remain in the mid-20s, then plummet overnight tonight. But a look at these temperatures over the next 5 days. High of 12 on Saturday, high of 20 on Sunday. But then here comes a January thaw. Monday through Wednesday, looking at temperatures reaching the mid, even upper 30s. Gary?
Start looking at bird feeders for you.
Thanks.
Eric, thanks. Well, we have a couple quick recalls.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, welcome back. Happy Friday, everyone. The weekend is here, and this weekend is looking to be on the cold side. And we warm up by next week, so if you have any plans to go out and enjoy the snow, especially all that fresh snowpack up near the Tug for winter sports, I recommend doing it this weekend. A live look at downtown Utica right now. A few flurries are falling. Other than that, quiet conditions across central New York. As take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're seeing a few spots here and there producing some light snow near Rome, Lee, Camden, Sylvan Beach, Route 13, Route 69, same thing up in Western, Route 46, all seeing some patches of light to moderate snow showers and flurries. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. The bigger picture showcasing heavier snowfall to the south. You can see that right there near Washington, D.C. And the system continues to pass east. We're going to miss out on a lot of this snow. The northern edge of this will approach mostly the southern valleys at the maximum, and that's where we could see maybe trace to 2 inches, which the 2-inch mark is less likely for portions of southern valleys, but that fluff factor could accumulate on some spots. Now, the main story for the next few days is going to be those cold temperatures. Wind chills this morning, not too bad. This evening, a different story. 8 p.m., wind chills already falling below 0 across a lot of the area. Then by the overnight hours into early Saturday morning, wind chill of 10 below in Little Falls, 15 below in Old Forge, -9 Cooperstown, -6 Utica. Wind chills throughout the day Saturday remain below 0. It's going to be a cold one. Then heading into Sunday morning, still overnight wind chills Saturday night, Sunday morning, below 0. Finally rising above 0, but still single-digit wind chills on Sunday. So again, it's cold, but if you want to go out and enjoy the snow that has fallen over some parts of the area, especially near the Tug, again, enjoy it this weekend because warmer temperatures continue to arrive by next week. Now, regarding the snowfall expected over today, you can see a weak response to lake effect out here in central to western Oneida County. That comes to an end this morning, and then monitoring this system arriving around 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., highest chance of seeing some snow showers south of Route 20, but they'll be spotty and light in nature, similar to what we saw yesterday. Those snow showers were sporadic here and there, but the northernmost extent looks to go as far north as I-90. Old Forge areas north, not likely to see any of that snow. Best chance of seeing snow will actually be from lake effect heading into tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, you can see generally areas south of, in east of Utica, south and west of Utica, Morrisville, down in Norwich, Oneonta, Cooperstown, seeing some light snow showers heading into tomorrow afternoon. And so again, looking at our snowfall forecast, trace of 2 inches of snow in the southern valleys, a dusting possible heading north, but again, we're not looking at seeing a whole lot of snow from this event. And so for today, high at 22, light snow south, then those wind chills plummet, single digits tonight, and then wind chills below 0. Your 7-day forecast, a cold weekend ahead. 12 for the high Saturday, 20 for the high Sunday. But again, this is short-lived. The January thaw arrives by next week, and those temperatures climb into the 30s and 40s.
Good weather to watch some football this weekend.
Yes, depending on if you want to go out and do it live.
Definitely, I wouldn't do that, that's for sure. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:52. Still ahead of 2024.
Now, you're watching News Channel 2 at sunrise with Gary Liberatore.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And get ready for quite the weekend ahead. Boy, those temperatures are downright brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be cold this weekend. Wind chills across some parts of the area. We're falling into the negative double digits. Now, one thing I wanted to mention, too, because the main story up north was the lake effect. Copenhagen reporting just under 50 inches of snow.
Wow.
And I mentioned it in the noon show yesterday. I was talking to you. I'm like, how can you start to measure when the snow gets that high up? You start using yardsticks, multiple yardsticks. So that's a lot of snow. But of course, it's all localized. And you go 2-3 miles downwind, you're down to 20, 30 inches of snow. Here locally, we're not seeing that snow. In fact, those temperatures this morning, again, as Gary mentioned, are cold, not too cold right now, but that will change as we approach tonight and into the weekend with wind chills falling into the single digits and below 0. And across the state, 20s and teens, not too bad to start out your Friday morning, and some minor lake effect snow taking place in Oneida County. That will come to an end as the morning continues on. For today, highs in the mid-20s. Wind chills start to plummet this evening, falling into the single digits by tonight. And overnight lows, wind chills down into the below 0 range by early tomorrow. Cold for Saturday, probably the coldest day of the year, and then even cold for Sunday as well. We'll explain exactly how cold we get in detail coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. An investigation is underway this morning.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning and welcome back. Again, happy Friday. We're taking a live look initially at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, and we've got weak lake effect taking place in parts of Oneida County right now. Let's zoom in right here and see exactly where that snow is falling. We're seeing some in Bridgeport, just along the border on Route 49 out in Camden, Route 69 heading into Rome, a few flurries falling in Utica right down here as well, and of course snow taking place along Route 31, just along I-90 as well. And ending up north, closer to Boonville, seeing some snow showers taking place here locally. And across the Mesonet camera network, you can see some few flurries falling here in Westmoreland, but again, a lot of quiet conditions here across the area. Still some snow showers as well up in Whiteface at this point. And a live look at downtown Utica. Some light flurries falling. Current temperature 21 degrees. So not as cold as what we saw the past few days, but the wind chills will start to plummet heading into tonight. And we have a cold weekend in store for us. Explaining how cold we get coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Decision 2024 now. Political analysts are...
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy Friday. We are tracking some light snow in parts of central New York this morning from lake effect, but the primary zone of snow expected today will fall well south of our area. A live look at downtown Utica from our Nexus camera. A few flurries as we can pick up on our camera from, again, lake effect snow taking place in parts of Oneida County this morning. In fact, zooming in, You can see exactly where that snow is falling. A few spots of some heavier pockets here along Route, just up between Sylvan Beach and Camden, right north of Route 13. Same thing for Lee, Route 69, and a passing of snow over in Rome. And the broader picture is we are dodging I don't say major system, but more notable snow system that's currently impacting parts of Washington, D.C., down in Maryland and Virginia. But as you can see, the northernmost extent of the system will impact us here very weakly in the southern valleys over the next 24 hours. Those temperatures today warming up into the low 20s, but again, wind chills, we bring those in. You can see how it quickly falls down into the single digits by the evening hours. And looking ahead to the weekend, we're talking about bitterly cold wind chills. Starting out this evening, 6 to 8 p.m., wind chills below zero. Then by tomorrow morning, minus 10 Little Falls, minus 15 in Old Forge. Tomorrow afternoon, wind chills below zero. Tomorrow night, wind chills also below zero. We don't actually warm above zero wind chills until Sunday evening. Even then, they'll still be in the single digits. So if you have anything planned for this weekend, be sure to bundle up the entire time. Our Skycast showing some pockets of snow from lake effect here early this morning. That comes to an end in the next few hours or so, and the next zone of seeing any form of snow will be generally south of I-90 and Route 20. As you can see here, very quickly it passes by the northernmost extent, again, impacting the southern valleys. And not seeing a whole lot of snow. If you do see snow, it will be very fluffy with snowfall ratios close to 20 to 1. Then, by tomorrow morning, lake effect snow starts to set up downwind of Lake Ontario, not up in the north, but out to the south. And you can see here the easternmost extent of this system will reach as far east as possibly just south and west of Utica, and of course including Madison County, Chenango County, and Otsego County. A weak disturbance from the north could produce some light flurries by the evening hours Saturday, but again, we're not talking about anything measurable, at least for today. Trace 2 inches. I'm leaning more towards a trace amount of snow for the southern valleys for today. A dusting at most for us here north of I-90. And then heading forward beyond today, we can see snowfall setting up in the southern valleys, especially just south of Syracuse, as you can see here, snowfall totals in the hilltops south of the central New York region. And for today, high 22, light snow south tonight. Bitterly cold, low 1 degree, overnight wind chills falling into the below zero range. Your 7-day forecast, cold this weekend. Any plans you can head out for, it's going to be cold. But this doesn't last long. We're back into the 30s and 40s by next week. So, and as I mentioned, if you have any plans to go out and do skiing, enjoying all the fresh snow up in the Tug Hill area, it'll be cold, but do it this weekend. We warm up as we head into next week.
Yeah, another warm-up spring ahead, right?
Yes, January thaw.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, February 19th, 2024.
Now, you're watching News Channel 2 at sunrise with Gary Liberator.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberator.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And bundle up, 2 words that you need to tell yourself this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, bundle up. It's going to be cold. It's not cold right now, but the wind chills will start to fall this evening into tonight, and then we're looking to stay either single digits or below zero with wind chills throughout the entire weekend. So, yeah, talk about cold. Winter has arrived, if you haven't guessed already. A look at the current conditions right now as you head out the door. 20 degrees at Griffiths and Rome. Feels like 20. A balmy 20 degrees. We haven't really seen these warm temperatures, if you want to call them warm, for the past several days because it's been so cold, and it will continue to fall as we approach the evening hours. Now, around the state, we're seeing some weak lake effect response off of Rochester and Syracuse, and of course some locations in Oneida County. Those temperatures in the 20s. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. A storm report up there in Lewis County. I was monitoring that. but here locally, we are tracking some weak lake effect flurries and light snow showers taking place just north of Vienna and, of course, just north of Rome. And for today, those morning lake effect snow showers wind down. Well, light snow is possible, spotty, south of the Mohawk Valley for today as the system passes south of us. And again, we warm up into the mid-20s this afternoon, but those wind chills start to cool things down by tonight. We'll let you know exactly how cold we get in certain locations in detail coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Congress has passed a funding bill to...
Welcome back. Happy Friday, everyone. And this morning, we're going to be showcasing our final weather photo of the work week. And going through some of the pictures, the great pictures you guys have been submitting on our website, I had to choose this one. This one is special because this is my favorite bird, the cardinal. This is a beautiful shot here of a female cardinal in Ilion. And in my opinion, I love the reds, especially in the wintertime when you look outside, they stand out so brightly in the tree line with all the snow in the trees. So again, beautiful shot here sent to our website. This, of course, will be posted on social media this afternoon. If you would like your photo, like this one, submitted to be showcased here on News Channel 2 at sunrise and, of course, on social media, send it to the link right there on the screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics. And, of course, include your name if you want credit as well. A live look at current conditions, 20 degrees in Little Falls, Westmoreland, 13 down in Cooperstown, so still a cold but not too cold start to the morning today. However, we will start to see bone-chilling wind chills as we head into the weekend. I'll explain exactly how cold we get coming up. Back to you, Gary.
And I knew you were a Celtics fan, but not a Cardinals fan. Now we know. Now we know. Eric, thanks. We have a couple of quick recalls to tell you.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy Friday. The weekend is approaching us, and it's going to be a cold one out there for this weekend. Not today, though, at least starting out, but as you approach the evening, wind chills will start to fall into the single digits. Live look at downtown Utica. A few flurries falling in the air, but looking at relatively quiet conditions to start out your Friday. Aside from some weak lake effect snow taking place in parts of Oneida County as expected, it's starting to wind down a little bit, but you notice here just north of Sylvan Beach, along Oneida Lake, Route 13, just south of Lee, and of course Camden, seeing some of those light snow showers and flurries. But zooming out a little bit, we've got a coastal system producing some snow showers, heaviest down near the Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia border. But as you can see, the northernmost extent of the system barely reaches central New York. So we'll be lucky to see 2 inches maximum from this system as it continues to pass to the east. And the zones of trace 2 inches will be, of course, in the southern valleys. Now, temperatures today will climb into the low to mid-20s, factoring in the wind chills. It will fall quickly by this evening into the single digits and then remain in the single digits and below zero for almost the entire weekend. In fact, looking at the wind chills in detail across the area, by tonight, 8 p.m., below zero wind chills, -11 wind chill in Old Forge. Early Saturday morning, -10 Little Falls, -9 in Cooperstown, and then Saturday afternoon, wind chills will remain below zero throughout the day. Then, heading into Sunday, early Sunday morning, wind chills again below zero. And then finally, as we head into Sunday, those wind chills will rise into the single digits. So overall, it's going to be a bitterly cold weekend ahead. Now, regarding snowfall, we're tracking a weak lake effect disturbance out here in central western Oneida County. That will be sweeping out to the south again over the next 1 to 2 hours. Following that, we'll start to see a weak system again pass south of us. You can see some light snow falling very quickly and briefly in the southern valleys between noontime and 3 p.m. Following this system, our best chance of actually seeing any measurable snow, in fact, only be in certain areas, will be from lake effect, downwind of Lake Ontario, and this will be generally in the Syracuse area, Madison, Shenango, Otsego County region. That will be where most of the snow will fall. As you can see, the darker blues in the hilltops just south of Syracuse. and some light flurries from weak disturbance heading into Saturday evening into Saturday night. And so regarding those snowfall accumulations, barely anything expected today. Dusting to 2 inches of snow possible south, but then as we approach Saturday and Sunday with lake effect snow, the highest totals will be in these blue areas right here, 2 to 4 inches south of Syracuse. Not expecting a whole lot of snow here locally over the next few days. And so for today, high 22, light snow possible south tonight, very cold, low of 1 degree. Your 7-day forecast. Remaining cold this weekend, warming up as we head into a January thaw by next week. And quickly, I want to do a classroom shout out. We had a submission on our email of a life skills class in OESJ High School in St. Johnsville, a life skills class, and apparently they all create their own forecasts.
Oh, wow.
They use the information we have and all make individual forecasts. So all I want to say is I hope they don't take my job.
I think you're okay, at least for now, right? But it'd be nice to see some of their forecasts, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be really cool. If you have the pictures, of course, the person who submitted it, I would love to see some of their amazing forecasts.
Yeah, even some videos. Let's put those on the air. That'd
Yes.
be pretty awesome. Eric, thanks. Well, an SUV that's stuck in a...
Now, you're watching News Channel 2 at 7 a.m. on CW 11 with Gary Liberatore.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on the CW11. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And on Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And you are tracking some bitter cold, the coldest weekend of the year, and it may end up being the coldest weekend of the year, too.
Yeah, so far the latest trends have January, at least the end of it, a bit on the warmer side. So if you were a fan of the colder weather, you're a fan of the snow, you're a fan of the snow sticking around, this weekend might be the best one for you. If you're heading up to the North Country, or if you're heading up to the Tug Hill region this weekend that saw all that snow, again, this will be the weekend to do it. The only thing, though, the wind chills will be cold. Starting out this morning, though, it's not too bad. 20 out feels like 20, a typical mid-January start to the day. But as we approach the evening hours into tomorrow, that will start to change. Around the state, those temperatures similar. Teens and 20s across Hamilton, Binghamton, Rome, up north in Watertown. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're seeing some flurries and light snow falling from lake effect. It is winding down in Oneida County at this point, but as you can see, some light snow is starting to fall in parts of the southern valleys, and that looks to be the most extent of this system as it continues south and east of central New York, not really impacting us here too much locally. And again, for today, highs in the mid-20s, typical January day, but as we approach the overnight hours, things will quickly cool down. Bone-chilling wind chills expected by tomorrow morning, then cold throughout the entire weekend. We'll let you know exactly how cold those wind chills get in detail throughout the weekend coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. An investigation is underway this morning.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Friday. The weekend is here, and it's going to be a cold one. But first, though, this Friday starts out typical for this time of year with temperatures in the 20s. A live look at downtown Utica right now. Quiet conditions. A few flurries falling from lake effect. Detected on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. In western Oneida County, it is winding down a little bit as the wind direction, both near the surface and up in the atmosphere, start to favor less and less of this developing. The broader picture is we are tracking a low pressure system passing generally south of the local area. However, the northernmost extent of the system could impact locations up here in the southern valleys at most. Now, for your day today, temperatures in the 20s for highs, factoring in the winds. It will feel a little bit colder, falling into the teens by this afternoon, single digits by 5 and 6 p.m. And continuing on the wind chill event going on heading into this weekend, take a look at this right here. By 8 p.m. tonight, wind chills across the area falling near or below zero. Tomorrow morning, wind chills below zero and nearing -10 in Little Falls. double-digit wind chills below zero in Boonville and Old Forge. Throughout the day Saturday, not warming up by much. Still below zero wind chills throughout the day, and then by tomorrow night into early Sunday, you can see here still bitterly cold wind chills across the area. We do actually warm up into the single digits, if you can call it a warm-up, by Sunday. And then an actual warm-up begins to arrive by next week. Regarding snowfall for today, again, snow will generally stick south of Route 20 and I-90 for the most part. Maybe a stray flurry or two lingers a little bit to the north, but we are well north of this system that's producing at least a good amount of measurable snowfall south of central New York. We'll start to see some lake effect snow develop off of Lake Ontario heading into Saturday, but again, it's going to be riding that fine line, as you can see here, just south and west of Utica, impacting Madison, Shenango, and Otsego counties, hilltops just south of I-90. But the highest snowfall totals will be expected generally south of Syracuse in those hilltop areas. And so again, for today, temperatures climbing into the mid-20s, light snow south, wind chills plummeting tonight, below zero with temperatures on paper at a single degree. 7-day forecast, cold weekend ahead, but we warm up with a January thaw by next week. Hi.
You're watching News Channel 2 at noon with Gary Lipp.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libator.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we are going to be getting downright frigid this weekend,
Yes.
and it all starts today, right, like you were mentioning?
Yes, it starts, in fact, within the next few hours. It feels like the 20s and teens out right now, but take a look at this trend right here. As we continue onward into the evening, those wind chills, factoring in the wind along with the temperature, will start to cool down. 6 by 6 p.m., 4 by 7, as you can see there in the bottom corner, -4 by the overnight hours.
Brutal.
And it's going to remain in the single digits and negatives for wind chills for basically the entire weekend. Yeah, so we're entering a very cold stretch of weather as we head into the next few days. Taking a look at the current conditions right now, however, again, as we mentioned, it's not too bad, at least compared to what we're going to be seeing this weekend temperature-wise. Currently 23, feels like 17. And a live look, the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, a live radar. We are still tracking some light, fluffy snow falling in primarily the southern valleys. So far, everything is falling on track right now. The system is barely reaching portions of the I-90 corridor, and of course, areas north like Old Forge and Boonville. Not likely to see any of this snow. In fact, here's a live view in Oneonta right now. You can see the fluffy snow falling into the area at this point. And again, for today, light snow south, a high of 22. Expect things to continue to cool down throughout the afternoon and the evening. And again, we are tracking cold weather for this weekend. We'll let you know exactly how cold it gets Saturday and Sunday coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And this brutally cold winter weather is blanketing much of the country. NBC's Emily Ikeda is in a snow-covered Hamburg just outside of Buffalo.
While so many residents are still digging out from the last winter blast, millions of people today are bracing for even more snow. That will come on top of, for some neighborhoods in parts of western New York, the more than 60 inches they have seen since Saturday. That is more than 5 feet of snow. These towering snow piles, you will see them just about around every corner here in Hamburg, New York, just south of Buffalo, as crews are running out of places to put the snow. Across the country, there have been nearly 50 people who have died from the barrage of winter storms over the past week. 16 people at least in Tennessee alone, where there is a state of emergency. Yesterday in Rochester, a scary incident at the airport when an American Airlines plane skidded off the taxiway. Fortunately, all 53 people on board were safely evacuated from that plane. Looking at flight disruptions today, already more than 700 flight cancellations and counting.
Brand new this
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday, everyone. It's a bit cold out there this afternoon, but it's not atypical of January standards. But That's going to change as we head into tonight and into the weekend as much more bone-chilling wind chills begin to arrive. Let's take a live look at downtown Utica right now. Quiet conditions across the Mohawk Valley. Some flurries might be straying a little bit into parts of the Mohawk Valley as we take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're seeing some light but fluffy snow showers taking place in parts of the southern valleys right now. You can see the trend of it barely reaching portions of I-90 and south. That looks to be the cutoff line of where the snow will form as this system is much more strong as it passed through parts of Delaware and Washington, D.C., and actually producing a good amount of snowfall rates out in the New York City area and heading into parts of Long Island. So the major brunt of this winter system is actually way south and way east of our area. But again, the main story this afternoon and this evening are going to be those wind chills. They'll continue to fall down into at least temperatures down into the teens and eventually single digits. But you factor in that wind, it falls down to below zero overnight tonight, one of the coldest nights we've seen so far here in central New York. That warmer air trapped near the surface will whisk away as these colder temperatures move in from the north and west. And you can see 8 p.m. -3, -4, 4:30 tomorrow morning. Wind chills -7 Little Falls, -15 Old Forge, -9 Cooperstown. Heading into Saturday afternoon, even at 3 p.m., -2 Utica, -12 Old Forge, -4 in Norwich. We finally get at least into the positives in regards to wind chills by Sunday afternoon. So I got a bit of a cold stretch. Even Sunday will remain on the cold side with those wind chills still in the single digits. And so again, look at your weekend forecast. We've got scattered snow showers from lake effect, generally south and west of the Mohawk Valley, and less cold on Sunday, still on the cold side, but we're dealing with stubborn clouds, not so much snow anymore, and those clouds will eventually whisk away by the evening hours. So, your skycast for today, we're still seeing some light snow showers take place in parts of the southern valleys this afternoon. That should be over and done with by this evening. Then comes the lake effect snow. You can see the absolute easternmost extent of the system impacting areas of the southern tip of Oneida County, Madison County, of course, all of Otsego and Chenango County. But the bullseye of heavy snow actually looks to stay out south and west of Syracuse, with maybe a few small flurries from weak disturbance moving through Saturday evening. And so again for today, light snow south, a high at 22 degrees, quickly falling tonight, a low of 1, with wind chills below freezing. Your 7-day forecast, again, cold this weekend, but it's not going to last too long. On Monday, a high of 32, Tuesday, 35, and then we're to the upper 30s by Wednesday and Thursday. So a bit of a cold stretch, but we're back to mild conditions next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And with the extreme cold weather expected, News Channel 2's Mark Mason talked with the folks over at AAA and has some tips for taking care of your vehicle during this brutal stretch of winter.
This winter, you really take time. Make sure your car, as I mentioned earlier, is prepared with safety emergency stuff that you have that you will be using. Also, make sure that you have winter wiper fluid, plenty of it. Make sure your wiper plates are in working condition.
Now remember, that's both the front and back wipers you should check. In case of some severe weather outside, AAA recommends you get an emergency kit to keep in your car.
Prepare ahead of time, especially the snow they had out in Rochester and Buffalo last weekend. Take 5 minutes and pack your car.
Blankets, a AAA Premium Road Kit, bottled water, snacks, extra windshield fluid, and, of course, an ice scraper. AAA says that these tools can seriously help and don't take up much space. But sometimes the trouble isn't outside the car, it's inside. AAA says their biggest call-ins this winter are for keys locked in cars, most of the time a result of people looking to warm up their vehicles.
With the car starter, they lock the keys in the car. For some reason, they get in there and, you know, they're rushing around, they get it warmed up, they go back in and do whatever, and then they forget that their keys are locked in there.
It turns out those car starters actually cause more issues than just locked cars. Leaving your car on to warm consistently for long durations can seriously kill your battery over time. Lastly, something I am now painfully aware of, make sure your tires are in working order before you get on the road. AAA says the ice can tear up your tires pretty good, so it's best to keep a lookout. This winter, it's important to keep your battery charged, keep your car healthy, and to keep yourself safe. Reporting in Utica, Mark Mason, News Channel 2.
Coming up, some parents here in New York State. Welcome back. As we have been mentioning, this weekend will be the coldest weekend of the season, but another story, a lot of snow in some parts, right?
Yeah, the lake effect machine finally wound down after yesterday, and we have a final total just outside of Watertown. This is, in fact, just north of Copenhagen. Nearly 50 inches. I think it was 49.7, very close to 50. And of course, this is the bullseye of the lake effect snow. But another thing regarding lake effect, this is kind of cool. It's outside of our area, but this is a really cool weather system taking place right now. Look at this taking place over Lake Michigan. It's spiraling. We've got a spiraling lake effect snowband taking place over there right now, which is absolutely cool. It's got a helix structure, and this is all complex meteorology, stuff that you will go to get PhDs for. So the fact that we still look at things like this, and it's just amazing seeing Mother Nature produce things like this.
Yeah, I've never seen that before, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's all like minor, small, little circulations in the air that, of course, created that. Now, here locally, looking at those temperatures right now, it's still cold out. 23 degrees for the temperature, feels like 17. Not too bad compared to what we're going to be feeling as we head into the weekend. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Light snow taking place in parts of the southern valleys right now. The absolute northernmost extent of this system is still staying south of the I-90 corridor. In fact, here's a view of Oneonta. Fluffy light snow taking place right now, and that's the main story for today. Light snow south, high at 22, cooling down throughout the afternoon and into tonight, with wind chills falling below zero and remaining below zero until Sunday, as those wind chills remain in the single digits. We have a look at that, plus more chances for snow showers over the weekend coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And if you missed it, just 2 hours from us over in Rochester yesterday, a plane that was scheduled to take off to Philadelphia lost traction before takeoff and slid off the runway. There were over 50 people on board during the incident, but no one was injured. Crews quickly worked to tow the jet off the runway and have it taken out of circulation, at least for now. In Florida, a 10-year-old boy, yes, a 10-year-old boy driving a vehicle causes a crash along a busy interstate. Authorities say the child had taken the vehicle from a family member without their knowledge. Authorities say the boy was driving a Nissan Altima on a major interstate when he sideswiped a Ford F-250. That was last night around 6 o'clock. The child suffered minor injuries. None of the 3 people in the pickup were injured. That crash is still under investigation. And an investigation is underway after Utica fire crews were kept.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday. The weekend is upon us, and it's going to be a cold one. But for now, temperatures are hovering in the 20s, wind chills in the teens. That will quickly change as the evening approaches. A live look in Cooperstown right now. Snow is falling. It's fluffy and light in nature. We're not expecting anything major with this system, as the majority of it passes well south and east of our local area in central New York. Currently in Cooperstown, 23 degrees. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Northernmost extent of this snow is taking place in the I-90 corridor, everywhere north, especially up near Boonville, Old Forge. Not likely to see any of this snow for today. Zooming out a little bit, we can see the trend of this system, and it's continuing to shift more and more east as a coastal low pressure, which is causing this, will continue to shift north and east. The bullseye of this event, by the way, pushed through Washington, D.C., entering Baltimore, parts of Maryland, and of course, heading out to the ocean off of southern New Jersey. Now, looking at our temperatures for this afternoon and this evening, falling into the teens and single digits. Winds will pick up, though. As this system departs eastward, we're getting a more northwesterly wind. Wind speeds reaching near 10 miles per hour. So factoring in the wind, look at these wind chills right here, falling down to below zero by 10 and 11 p.m. And a look at the wind chills throughout the weekend, it's going to get very cold. For starters, on Saturday, at least Saturday morning, wind chills below zero across a lot of the area. Up near Boonville, minus 14, Old Forge, minus 15. Throughout the day Saturday, it's still going to remain below zero with those wind chills, even in the afternoon and the evening. And it will still remain relatively cold by early Sunday morning, still minus 8, minus 10, minus 15 up in Boonville. And then by Sunday afternoon, warming up into the single digits. A bit of a warm spell to wrap up the weekend, if you want to call it that, with 1 degree in Cooperstown and 4 in Oneonta. And again, your weekend forecast, we're tracking scattered lake effect snow showers, generally south and west of Utica for Saturday. And then for Sunday, less cold a little bit with stubborn clouds, again, primarily south and west of Utica. And our skycast showing that light snow falling in the southern valleys for today, dusting here and there, maybe 2 inches in those hilltops as we head into tomorrow, as we're talking about lake effect snow downwind of Lake Ontario. And the bullseye of this will be south and west of Syracuse, right over here, here locally, and not looking to see too much in terms of accumulating snow. Maybe some of the hilltops just south of the Mohawk Valley. Then by Sunday, lingering lake effect snow flurries in the early morning hours, turning to some light flurries throughout the afternoon, but major snow comes to an end, and we're talking about lingering clouds, maybe some peaks of sunshine, especially in northern Oneida County. And so for today, high 22, light snow south. For tonight, again, dropping down to a single degree with wind chills falling below zero. Your 7-day forecast, Saturday and Sunday, both cold. Overnight lows, by the way, tonight and Saturday night, falling to 0 degrees or 1 degree. And of course, wind chills all below zero. Then we enter a warm spell. By Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, January thaw arrives, and we're arriving above freezing into the 30s and possibly low 40s by Wednesday and Thursday. Gary?
It'll feel like spring.
Spring
compared
arrives
to the
after
weekend.
a very cold winter weekend.
That's for sure, Eric. Thanks. Well, a major twist in the Scott.
Time for a first look at the forecast tonight with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We are tracking cold weather that's going to be settling in as we start the weekend. We'll all be experiencing that. Some of us experiencing some snow today across the southern valleys. This is a live look in Oneonta. Just a couple of flurries still in the air this evening, and it was enough to make the roadways slippery across I-88 and points south. But that snow continues to move out, and we're looking at dry weather across all of central New York. That snow never quite made it into the Mohawk Valley and North Country, and so will remain dry. Current conditions, 13 degrees. It is continuing to cool off, that north wind kicking in the wake of this weather system passing to our south. The wind chill already below zero, 2 below zero, and that will continue to drop tonight as cold weather moves in. The weather stays cold throughout the weekend, but it's not here for long. There are some pretty strong signs that this cold weather is going to kick out as we head into early next week. Again, continuing to drop quickly this evening into the teens and single digits. Again, a cold night ahead and a cold start to the weekend. I'm going to look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. A propane delivery truck rolled over on County Highway.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Cold weather is settling in across the North Country. Temperatures are going to drop into the single digits tonight and start out below zero with the wind chill. Let's take a look at an Old Forge. Temperature of 10 degrees. It's cold, and it's going to stay that way through the weekend. A high of only 12 on Saturday. The wind chill will be below zero with some scattered snow showers, 20 on Sunday. That looks to be the better of the 2 weekend days. If you want to get out and enjoy the snow, it's actually great conditions. I know it's really cold, but it really helps soften the snow that we do have. My recommendation is going on Sunday. If you want to get out and do some skiing or sledding or snowmobiling, Sunday would be the better of the 2 days. But if you're dressed properly, you can do it on Saturday too. Just make sure you're taking lots of breaks keeping an eye on the kids if they are going to be out on Saturday, because this is what we're going to be dealing with. Wind chills below 0. This is, again, factoring in the wind with the air temperature. Saturday morning through Saturday afternoon, they'll be between about 10 to 15 below 0 throughout the whole day. The numbers do come up a little bit on Sunday. The winds become less, the air temperature rises, but we're still near 0 to below 0 even on Sunday. And then Monday is the time we'll start to see a noticeable difference as some warmer weather arrives. It's dry out there tonight. Again, some light snow continues to move out across the southern valleys. It's been a pretty quiet day in the Mohawk Valley and North Country. Clinton, 20 degrees. New Hartford, 22. Newport, 17. Edmonston, 17. And Mark and Milford checking in with 18. An area of low pressure passed to our south today. It brought a widespread snowfall to the big cities, which of course makes lots of headlines, especially at the national level. Philadelphia, New York City, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., some areas getting steady snowfall. That system moves out and the cold weather moves in. Tonight, temperatures drop down into the single digits, and it's going to be a cold one throughout the day tomorrow. Tomorrow, we do expect to see a few light snow showers and flurries from Lake Ontario. Most of this activity stays to the west, but an occasional snow shower will meander its way eastward heading into Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. It's not the same. Lake effect is not as strong when the air is really cold because it tends to be really dry, and that dries the band out as it tries to advance eastward. Still, we could see a fluffy inch or two of accumulation, especially west of Utica. It remains cold on Sunday. Dry, stubborn clouds in the morning should give way to at least a few breaks of sunshine. Tonight, cold, a low of 1. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, breezy, some flurries, temperatures in the low teens. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Partly sunny on Sunday, 20 for the high. Monday, we're up to 32. Next week, it's what we're calling the January version of a heat wave. Temperatures will be close to 40 Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll be dealing with clouds, rain showers, so not really, that beach weather.
No, you think.
You never know around here.
Phil, thanks.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. We go with...
Start watching News Channel 2 at 10 on CW11 with Jason Pallas.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to get to those stories in a moment, but first I want to start with weather tonight. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, the frigid cold is coming in, I don't know, like now.
Yes, it is getting cold, absolutely. Yeah. And we're going to start off by talking about our pets tonight. I know we shouldn't have to do this, but it's always just a good reminder.
It sounds like a no-brainer, but you were absolutely right.
And maybe just some people are just not aware. It is going to get cold tonight. Bring the pets indoors.
Yeah.
Looking at wind chills between 10 to 20 below 0 tonight, and pets are not immune to frostbite. Even dogs that like the cold shouldn't be out in conditions like this for long periods of time. In fact, we're looking at our current temperature. It's already down to 7. It already feels like 7 below 0. So we're already close to those numbers tonight, and it's only 10 o'clock in the evening. We're going to continue to see temperatures fall tonight. It is going to be a cold one out there. We are looking at dry conditions as we take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It remains dry tonight. We'll have a few snow showers generally to the west of Utica overnight. We're down to 1 degree. And again, that wind chill is going to stay below 0 throughout the night and also throughout Saturday. We're tracking some warmer weather ahead, though. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New information since 6 on that propane delivery truck rollover in Otsego County.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in Old Forge. It's a temperature of 0 up here, and it is a cold night across all of the region. In fact, it's not really going to warm up that much as we head into the weekend. Saturday's high 12 degrees. The wind chill will be below 0 throughout the entire day. Sunday, we're up to 20. It's less cold, but we've got some stubborn clouds, less windy. Should be a little bit nicer to be outdoors on Sunday. And I know it's been kind of a lackluster winter. We have had not much snow on the ground. We've had a lot of thaws in the month of December with the snow on the ground, especially the fresh snow to the north. This is a great weekend to try to get out and enjoy winter sports. If you like skiing, sledding, snowmobiling, Again, with temperatures well below freezing, the snow is going to be soft. Sunday looks to be the better of the 2 days to be outdoors. If you do want to go out on Saturday, the snow is going to be excellent. Just take breaks. And if you have your kids, if you're taking your kids outside, make sure they take breaks and make sure they're well dressed for the elements. You don't really want to be outside too long. With wind chills, it'll be below zero throughout most of the day. In fact, let's take a look at those wind chills. Again, 10 to 20 below zero. That wind coming in from the northwest throughout the day. The wind chill stays below zero tomorrow night. Sunday, it's a little bit better. Wind chills in the teens and single digits, but we won't really notice an improvement until Monday when temperatures start warming up and the winds become light. Things are looking dry out there in the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The current wind chill is 7 below zero. Current temperature is 1, but again, that wind chill below zero. Whitesboro 7 degrees, Little Falls 9. Again, it's below zero already up to the north, and that's without the wind. Cooperstown 10 and Oneonta with 7. The radar and satellite image continues to show an area of low pressure tracking to the south and east, moving off the coast. And we're looking at pretty quiet weather here as we head into tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the single digits. Tomorrow, there will be a few lake effect snow showers to the west. Otherwise, it's just a cold day, and a few flurries do make their way eastward into the afternoon and evening. Temperatures climb into the low teens. Tomorrow night, the weather remains cloudy. Overnight lows drop down into the lower single digits, and Sunday looks better to be outdoors. Temperatures climb to near 20. The clouds linger around into the morning to late afternoon, but we should see a few breaks of sunshine. Cold tonight, a low of 1. Tomorrow, cold, breezy flurries. High temperature 12. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Sunshine on Sunday, a high of 20. Monday 32. It's going to warm up next week. Temperatures climb into the mid-30s on Tuesday and into the low 40s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I'm really proud that my voice survived today because it was awful yesterday.
You had a rough day yesterday.
Yeah.
But you know what?
We're finishing on a good note.
You played hurt. You're listed as day-to-day.
That's right, aren't we all?
Aren't we all? All right, thanks, Bill. Coming up next, a New Mexico.
You're watching News Channel 2 at 11 with Jason Powers.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to get to those stories in a moment, but first I want to start with weather. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, frigid cold is coming in as we speak.
And it's pretty serious. I mean, we're not going to be shattering any records, but
True.
It's cold enough where you need to bring your pets indoors.
Yeah, we have not seen these frigid temperatures very much at all this winter.
And if you're not aware of how cold it's going to get tonight, bring them in.
Yeah.
We're talking about wind chills, 10, 20 below zero tonight. Pets should be home in a nice warm spot. The current temperature is already down to 6, and the wind chill is already 6 below zero. So we have that wind working in, and it is going to be a cold one tonight. That wind chill is going to continue to fall. We're expecting overnight lows to get down to near zero tonight with clear skies. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It is dry, and again, skies are mostly clear. That'll be the case as we start the weekend. We'll be seeing more lake effect cloud cover as we head into Saturday. Our temperature tonight down to 1. We might see a few flurries developing late tonight, but again, the big story this weekend is the cold. We're taking a look at that weekend forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New information since 6 on the propane delivery truck rollover.
Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A cold one out there. This is a live look in Old Forge. A temperature of 0. A lot of places start out near 0 tomorrow morning. A high of only 12 for Saturday. Cold. We're tracking a few scattered snow showers later in the day. Sunday looks less cold. Some stubborn clouds around. Temperatures near 20. With the cold weather, it's actually a good weekend to enjoy winter sports. The snow is fluffy and it's fast. If you like skiing, sledding, snowmobiling, it's actually a good weekend to do that. Just limit your time outdoors on Saturday, or at least take frequent breaks, have a place to warm up, and stay comfortable, because the wind chill is going to be below 0 here as we head into Saturday afternoon, and it stays below 0 throughout the day. It's dry out there this evening. Current wind chill 6 below 0. And again, local temperatures in the single digits to below 0 to the north. So again, bundle up tonight, bundle up tomorrow. We've got Arctic air dropping in from the north. Snow showers continue to push to the east. We saw steadier snow earlier today across the mid-Atlantic. Tonight, the weather remains dry. Overnight lows fall into the single digits. Tomorrow is a generally cloudy day. We are watching for a few light lake effect snow showers to the west. We may see a few of these work in the afternoon and evening. Very little accumulation is expected. Temperatures look to climb into the low teens. It remains cold tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, some stubborn clouds linger around, but it does warm up and it turns less windy with high temperatures near 20 degrees. Cold tonight, an overnight low of 1. Tomorrow, we're looking at cold conditions, breezy. That wind chill will stay below 0 throughout the day. High of 12. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. 20 for the high on Sunday, up to 32 on Monday. The weather next week looks warmer with some rain chances and highs near 40 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Jason.
Bill, I'm telling you right now, go home, rest your voice.